Hi guys, my name is Anton, and in this episode I'll show you how I graded music video shot on Sony a7S Mark II. It's a 1-minute fragment from a cover band promo I made recently. Let's take a look at this video and then we'll see how to achieve this result.
When I'm in trouble and have no friends, no she go with me until the end. Everybody asks me how I know. I smile and say she told me so. That's why I know. Yes, I know. Hallelujah, I just love her so. Now if you call her on the telephone and tell her that I'm all alone, by the time I come from 1 to 4, I hear her on my door. In the evening when the sun goes down, when there is nobody else around, she kisses me and she holds me tight. Tell me that everything's alright. That's why I know, that's why I know. Hallelujah, I just love her so.
Okay, that's what I've managed to get with Sony a7S Mark II shooting in Slog2 Sgamut3.cine. For color grading this piece I've used DaVinci Resolve Lite, which is free, and I highly recommend it for any color grading work, especially with low gammas. If we turn off all nodes, we'll see how our starting material looks like. I shot this piece with native ISO 1600, and as you can see, I deliberately overexposed, as you should do in most cases, my shots from 1 to 2 stops to pull overall levels down in post and reduce the visible noise. S-Log is quite forgiving for highlights, and you can bring them back if you manage not to clip them. I separated the actions needed for all clips to timeline, and actions that are for individual clips, secondary color grade for clip mode. This way I can easily set a look to all clips and tweak each individual if I have to. Let's start in timeline with broad strokes, identifying the whole look of the piece. I've used famous Film Convert Pro OFX version 2.15 to convert footage from S-Log and to give it a film look from the very beginning, and I set it to Sony a7S Mark II with exposure compensation plus 1 stop to bring my levels down 1 stop. I've chosen Fuji 8543 after comparing some options with film color 85, curve 90. I've also reduced saturation to 93 and pulled shadows down just a touch. I think it's a good starting point converting from low gamma, and let's go further. Shift S to add the node before the active, and here I manually adjusted highlights, pulling them down a bit more, and added a curve with desaturated highlights and increased saturation in shadows with overall saturation set to 55. It's doing the opposite to natural look, where your bright areas carry the most saturated colors, but I thought it will look interesting here. Continuing with the overall look, I decided to use a LUT to get even more stylized. And after some time of looking through different options, I settled on 9219 Rec 709 from IWLT BAP. I dialed it down to around 0.5 to reduce the effect to my taste. I also added 1 node to balance my colors a bit. I wasn't 100% happy with skin tones and highlights, which looked too reddish for me, so I lifted blue just a bit in gamma and reduced red in gain. Little touches, but they made a difference for me. Then I continued with quite strong vignette in Node 5 and brought back some sharpness to my footage in the next node. Now, with the overall look being set out, it's time to dig into correcting individual clips and do some adjustments there. The major goal in this stage is to fix problems in the individual shots and make them look more appealing. For example, in the shot number 2, we need to bring down the exposure a bit to match it better with neighbor nodes, and we can also use a power window gradient to give some parts of the shot more attention. In the shot number 3, we also need to reduce the exposure, node 1, then power window for upper part of the shot. This shot has one problem area right here. It's a reflection on the kick drum that draws unwanted attention. And I reduce the brightness here with another power window to make this area less noticeable. I don't even need tracking here, as the shot isn't moving much and the window is soft enough. I also decided to help our talents to stand out more against background wall by dimming it down a bit. Luckily we are able to do it with this shot, and finally here I added another node and another power window to help with lower right corner highlights. Continuing with another example of secondary correction, and here in the clip number 6 we see medium shot of our main talent. Let's see what we can do here to make this better. First, reducing exposure in the node 1 to match with other shots better. Second, adding power window for some contrast. Third, fixing this clipped highlight on the right and make it less harsh. I use log wheels here for more precise corrections. And finally, brighten our talent's face and tracking the power window. Thus, we've moved from this to this. Some clips could require very little adjustments, like this shot 14. I only strengthened vignette to help the guitar to stand out more. Or this shot 15, where I added gradient negative fill to help focus viewers' attention on snare drum. You may notice that I also made a couple of shots with leaving just one strong color and desaturating everything else. First, I always like to break the evenness of background lighting. Of course, better to do it while shooting, but here we're able to do it in post. Second, reinforcing vignette for even more effect. Third, 3 power windows for talents, preserving the exposure and dimming everything else down with offset. Then go into qualifier, picking out the red color, changing it to taste, making outside node and kill the saturation. Thus, qualifier helps us with color changing and making a good key to work with simultaneously. In the node 6, I fixed 2 little problems that emerged: lips and bar plate on background. I use power window with desaturation on upper part of the frame, and the shot is ready. Using these ideas, I went from shot to shot until all of them were done. Although the footage wasn't noisy, especially after pulling levels down quite a bit, I geeked and added one node with Net Video OFX in group pre-clip section to process noise reduction before any color grading adjustments. And finally, I am ready to go to Deliver section. I am not a big fan of Resolve H.264 as I noticed significant drop in quality compared to a dub media encoder, and therefore I exported in QuickTime uncompressed RGB with force sizing and force debayer to highest quality checked. Then I went to a dub encoder with this big master file and made H.264 version. Okay, this is how I approached color grading with this video. I'm not saying it's perfect or it's the only way you should work, but I hope you like the results. If you find this video helpful and interesting, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to support my channel and see more content like this in the future. I've been Anton Humala, thank you for watching.